What is up, home workout and bodyweight exercise fans? In today's video, I'm going to talk about people who basically rush into self-diagnosing themselves with a low metabolism. So if you're doing most of the things out there right, so if you're eating really well, if you're eating a lot of veggies, a lot of the healthy stuff, if you're keeping your protein high, if you're eating protein with every meal, for example, if you're drinking enough water, if you're exercising properly, if you're doing strength training at least 3 times a week, and if you generally are living a healthy lifestyle according to general guidelines, it might be the case that you're neglecting something really simple that might be doing the damage. So don't rush into self-diagnosing yourself with a low metabolism. That might be the case in a few people, like maybe 1 out of 10, probably even less than that, a lot less than that. But what you're probably doing wrong is that you have a really low NEAT. What is NEAT? NEAT is basically your non-exercise related activity thermogenesis. So it's basically the energy your body burns when it's doing anything else besides sleeping, eating, and training. So for example, every time like you walk around the house, that's basically NEAT energy. And a lot of people with a sedentary lifestyle tend to have this problem. They're doing everything right, they're exercising, they're eating healthy, they're not overdoing it with processed foods, they're keeping like their unhealthy stuff around 10%, which is my general guideline. I'm against completely eating clean. That never works actually. So that's a topic for another video. But if your NEAT is very low, it can be screwing your whole program. So for example, even if you train 1 hour a day, that's 7 hours a week, which is 724, that's like 164 hours of total a week of the rest of your energy expenditure. So if you're only training 7 hours out of those 164 and you're expecting to get ripped just by that, if the rest of those hours are like completely sedentary, your exercise is like, I think that's like 3% of the total amount of hours. It's not gonna cut it if you're not moving a little bit more during the rest of the hours of the day. That might not be something extremely high in calories, that you're burning, but it still adds up. So an easy way to calculate this is count your weekly steps. For example, you can use an application in your phone. There are a lot of cool of those free ones. I used Pacer on my Android phone. I'm currently using a Fitbit watch, which my girlfriend got me for Christmas, which is pretty awesome. I like it because it's really simple, like the screen and all that, minimalistic. But anyway, you can get one for you can just use a free app. No need to get a special watch if you can't afford it, although it does make things more fun. So basically count your weekly steps and see if you're below 50,000 steps and you're doing everything else really well, diet-wise, exercise-wise, and you're struggling to lose weight. Don't overdo it with restricting your diet from calories. First, add movement. That's a basic law. When you're eating very healthy, you're doing everything the right way. Don't over restrict yourself from calories because your body just goes crazy. We are programmed from an evolutionary aspect to panic when we're not getting a lot of food. So first, increase movement. That's a rule you should always remember when you're trying to lose weight, get ripped, or whatever your goal might be. So for example, get some more walking. I walk a lot. I've mentioned why I prefer walking as my favorite lowest intensity exercise. I love it it's basically awesome for stress. It's awesome for getting ripped, as you can see in the article up here. It's amazing for creativity. It's generally something I love doing. Just get an audiobook if you really hate it, if you really get bored at it. If you get a good audiobook of something you really like, time is going to just fly by. So get more walking, use the normal stairs instead of taking the elevator, use the normal stairs instead of taking those electrical stairs. Use your legs, your body, you know, instead of taking the car for whatever, for shopping, for a supermarket or anything. If you're really sedentary, these are things you have to start changing. Now, another typical mistake people do is underestimating their calories. You know, even if you're eating really healthy, that doesn't mean that your calories are low, you know, because even healthy stuff like healthy fats, like olive oil, for example, a tablespoon has 110 calories. Now, if you're adding a ton of that in your daily foods, you know, you can bump up your weekly caloric intake by easily by 1,000 calories. Multiply that in weeks and months, and you know, that's a lot of additional fat you're putting in your body. So what I would recommend is, if you increase your NEAT, you know, if you start moving more and you're still not seeing any results, start tracking your daily caloric intake. I know it's boring as hell, but just do it for a week in order to understand what is the daily caloric intake you're putting into your body. And you know, if you do it for a week, after that you can sort of start eyeballing stuff, you know, just measuring things with, you know, just estimating the average. As long as you know from now on, like, the basic caloric intake of foods you eat on a daily basis, it's going to be a lot more easier to not overestimate or underestimate basically your caloric intake. So these are my 2 tips. I know they're not like fancy, they're not like really cool like those stupid tips typical trainers or YouTube upload, like eat that special fruit and you'll burn fat, or eat that green coffee or tea, whatever that is, and you know, you're gonna lose 5 pounds. That's most of the times bullshit. These stuff are things that are the most important, and if you dial these into your weekly lifestyle, I promise you results. So that was all for today, and until next time, keep on training.